Hello, hi, and welcome. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to tonight's live. Welcome in. I always feel like I don't know if you guys ever notice, but I always look to my side when I come on live. I don't know why. I always feel like there's somebody there, but there isn't, just the dogs. But welcome in. If you're new to the channel, I'm Tanya or Titanium Built. It's nice to meet you. Nice for you to come in and join us. Thanks for all the people that are in here joining us tonight. I do appreciate you guys coming in. It was really nice seeing that we had some people in here waiting. I was like, well, look at that. We usually have some people, but it's a new case. It's a new case to the channel, kind of. We went over this case one other time, but I figured we're gonna visit it because there's new information that's coming out. So, Cheryl, this is a strange case. And hey, Mary Beth, and hello, Cheryl. This one's a very strange case. I mean, how can you do that? You can't do this to yourself. This one's going to be a good one. So just make sure you stick with me. Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Cat's Life. Welcome in, everybody. Captain's in here. And Stephanie's in here. And I got orders today. Thank you guys so much for the orders. Thank you so much. We are running 40% off on select items at my boutique. It's not for like it's separate from my YouTube. It's, a boutique, like a boho vibe. But if you guys want to check it out, there is 40% off select summer styles on there. So I've been really busy today. It's been nice. It's been really nice. And it's good to see you guys all in here. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome on in. I'm going to get down to the bottom. Hey, Linda. Hey, Green Eye Monster. Are you from Ohio too? Because, it's been warm here lately. Except for today, it rained. It was rainy. It was rainy. Hey, Juno. Hey, Kenna. It was just like one of those days when it's raining and you don't have your umbrella. I was like, oh, darn it. But I didn't get caught in any rain. So I was very fortunate. Very fortunate. Hey, Casey. Hey, ALR. Welcome in, everyone. I say that a lot. You'll learn that I say welcome in a lot more than I probably need to, but that's fine. I could better than saying other things, I guess. So it's good to see everybody. So we're going to go over Ellen Greenberg's case tonight. We went over this case on the channel. I should have looked. It's probably been over a year. So you guys might have been with me when we went over it last. You might not have been with me when we went over it last, but we're going to go over it again tonight because, like I said, there's new developments. And this case is just so baffling. It deserves more attention brought to it. So they say that, her parents have been really behind this campaign to get her death ruled as a homicide and not the S word. They've been working really, really hard on that. So let me show you a picture of her just in case you might have heard the name. You might not remember until you see the picture of her because this is back from 2011. So this has been a little while, but this case here, Jennifer Coffendorfer, for instance, like I'll take her, for instance, on Twitter. She talks about Ellen Greenberg, I would say at least once a month on her Twitter. Like just to promote like this isn't right. This death isn't right. What is going on here? So you never know. Yeah, you don't know this case. Yeah. Well, I'll teach you guys the ones that don't know it. We're going to all kind of learn together because there's a website that has like everything you could possibly ever want on it. It has, it's by Gavin Fish. I don't know if you know who that is, but he does other websites too for different like true crime cases. I think that he's actually even, he's a YouTuber on the platform. I forgot. I just saw his videos, but he has a website. It's all dedicated to her. So it has like a bio. It has all of the videos about this case, all these pictures. The crime scene pictures are on here. The autopsy photos are on here. And then you can get the case documents and if you sign up for his Patreon. So we'll go over that a little bit too. And if this case intrigues people, then we'll definitely I'll buy the $3 Patreon or whatever. That's fine. That's fine because he gets all the documents and there's a ton and that's really awesome. That's like one less thing I'd have to be, bother Philadelphia police with because they probably would be like, this is a bother and we don't want to give them to you. So I probably wouldn't get them for like ever, if I even asked for them. Oh, you're welcome, Laura. You're welcome. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful girl. 27-year-old Ellen was found. So this is just like some, bullet points, and then we'll get into more of the, case. But she was found dead with 20 stab wounds on January 26, 2011, at her home in Philadelphia. Her death was initially ruled as a homicide, but later changed to, self-inflict, I guess. The Greenberg family has filed a lawsuit to compel officials to change the manner of death back to homicide or undetermined. Because when they first ruled it, they ruled it as a homicide. And then I think it was literally like the next day, they switched it to, they self-harmed. So I couldn't imagine being her parents on that kind of roller coaster. But and I'm going to show you the placements of these wounds, and it's like, what? I don't know. It's hard to even explain. Let me see actually if I can pull it up without. Well, actually, I can pull it up under that site. I don't know if he just has. I'll just show you the actual wounds. Okay. This is okay. So this is going to be kind of graphic. Just letting you know. Oops. I think that. Let me try to get it right here. Okay. So yeah, just warning you, it's going to be very graphic. Very, very, very graphic very graphic image coming up. It's just a picture of where the wounds were placed. And so where was I? I was like, just want to, okay, so here. So this is where the one knife did all of this. Now you tell me if one person could do this and the knife to the back of the head, and there was a knife protruding from her when she was found. I just don't see that. I'll share this tab again. But basically, on January 26th, a blizzard hit Philadelphia, prompting, Miss Ellen Greenberg to leave work and return home to her apartment. She was a school teacher, so she left school early that day and she went home. At 6:40 that evening, she was pronounced dead as a result of 20 stab wounds, including 10 to the back and neck. There were also 11 various bruises or bruises in various staging of healing on her right arm, abdomen, and right leg. So those would have been injuries prior. Her body was discovered by her fiancé Sam Goldberg, who returned home from the gym, where he said that the lock had been deadbolted. It was like one of those hotel locks when you walked into their apartment, the swing lock. That he said, and these are his words. He said that was swung closed, so he wasn't able to get into the house. That's when he starts texting her. Starts texting Ellen, "Where are you at? Why are you answering the door?" As the time goes on, the text messages progressively just get worse and more hateful. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know what I think about that yet. But he ends up going downstairs and getting security of some sort, and they go back up together and they get into the apartment. And that's when he finds her and he calls 911. And they asked him if he knew how to do CPR, and he said he did not. And so they walk him through CPR. He seems very nonchalant to me. I will say that. In the calls, he just kind of in the call to 911, but trauma and shock could work in different ways. So I'm just trying to be non-biased as of right now. I'm gonna try. But her boyfriend, her fiance, be looking sketchy. Let's see if there's anything else that's new. That I need to tell you right now. So July 30th of this year, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania Eastern District granted a petition for allowance of appeal to review the challenges to Greenberg's cause of death. That's a pretty big, pretty good pretty big finding there. Oh, we have a new member. For criming out loud. Oh my gosh, that is the cutest name. For criming out loud. And welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. I really like that name. For criming out loud. Man, you guys have some good names. See, like even fuckery afoot. We all know what really happened. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Okay. And there's like, we can cover this case and we could cover this for a while. Like there is some stuff there. I mean, I'm just going to try to get the case, the story, the timeline, like the baseline out for you guys. And then we can dig in deeper then too, because there's a lot. There's a whole lot. When I was like looking up stuff for this case, I was like, oh my gosh, there's just so much. There's so much from even like last year, even when we covered it, it seems like. So let's go over, where was she at? Where'd I put her? Where'd I put her, Nancy? So Nancy, Grace is, I think we listened to this before. I'm not sure though. So we might be actually for the first time repeating something on this channel, but, it says that it was breaking. It said it was bombshell news and it was on her podcast, but I see that it's on Law and Crime. So I'm just wondering, I'm not sure. Cause I know she does her older videos. She'll give out to Law and Crime. She works for them now too. She'd be working for everybody. Hey, Nash Native. Hey, Kenna. How does someone stab themselves? Yeah. In the back of the head. Yeah. Just even one, like, just imagine doing it one time, like in your stomach, I think one of the first wounds was like to the stomach. Is it a common name? I like your name. TV producer. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it was a TV. What did he produce? What do you know what shows he produced? Because he was a producer of some sort. Her fiance. And there's a picture of him here if you want to see a picture. Her body was moved. Says this was back from July 31st, 2024. And they're saying that her body was moved up like to the because she's resting on cabinets, like her head and neck area, like she's laying on the floor of the kitchen, resting with her head and her neck like on the cabinet. He kind of looks like a jerk though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just trying to figure out how to say your name. Warhala, CK Warhala. That's all I got. Yeah, he just seems like this guy, I don't know. He just seems like he wouldn't be a good guy. I don't know. Just by looking at him, I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, but I want to tell you really quick too. Before we watch Nancy, we raised $109, $109.64 in our fundraiser yesterday. That went straight to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So altogether, I think it was all within the same month. I think our last one was within this month too. It was just a few weeks ago. So altogether, $575.84 will go directly towards them. So I wanted to let you guys know that. So altogether for the two fundraisers that we did, just two little fundraisers, we made all that $575.84. So it's very exciting. Now my dog's trying to get the other dog out of the bed. Oh my gosh, good Lordy. She does this every night. You guys are going to start to know this dog. There she goes. I will say, I'm pretty sure I have the jacket that Nancy's wearing or something very similar to this. Mia, she'll cry. Do you hear her? Yeah, Mia, look, you're on camera doing it. You're on camera crying. Look. She just wants to switch beds. Oh my gosh. Oh, actually, let me stop sharing this and let me share it again because I think that it cut the sound off. So we'll listen to this and then after we're done, we'll listen to some of this, see what Nancy has to say, and then I'll show you the website that I found. But the website that I found, it has a lot of stuff on it. Like I said, it has like the crime scene photos. Actually, Nancy may show them. If she doesn't, if we get to the part where she's talking about it and she doesn't show the pictures, because I listened to this earlier, I didn't watch it. Like I wasn't like watching, I was listening in. I'll go back through and I'll show you the actual pictures. So thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate it so much. I do. Thanks for being here for another case. It's really awesome to see some people in here for, that other case. Cause I know that Sebastian's the hot topic right now, but there's nothing. There's nothing. I could have made something up, but I didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that to you guys. So I wanted to do a new case. And we can actually even go over this case tomorrow night if it goes well as well. Because, we can dive in deeper, like I said. So let's watch Nancy. If you guys don't mind, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit all the buttons, except for the thumbs down button. And I'll be in the chat with you guys. Seems like I haven't been in the chat with you guys in a while. Hey, Sirius, welcome in. And hey, Tempest. I don't know if I said hi to Casey. Hey, Catherine. Co-host treats. Thank you. She doesn't deserve them, but thanks. She's mean over here. I can't even say that with a straight face. She's so cute. Yeah. She gets a cookie every night, so I'll put that in her cookie fund. I just went to Sam's Club today. More treats.
Young bride-to-be stabbed 20 times, including in her back, the back of her neck, actually nicking the dura of her spinal cord, the back of her head, the top of her head, all over her body. It was ruled a suicide, a bombshell in that case. And tonight, her family breaking their silence. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
Fire Department 842. What's the address?
My fiance's on the floor with blood everywhere. Oh my God, she stabbed herself. There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
How did he know immediately that Ellen stabbed herself? Because I would never think that my husband stabbed himself. I just wouldn't believe that. So what was on the crime scene that suggested a suicide? Now, hold on. I don't want to put the cart before the horse.
Well, she had a knife protruding from her, so I would assume that's what she,
I want to listen to that 911 call because, as many of you know, there's nothing like a 911 call. Why is it significant? Why is it critical? Because that is the most probative, in other words, proves something, evidence that I know of, because it takes a jury or a listener, such as ourselves, back to the moment the crime is discovered. In this case, it was ruled there was no crime, that it was a suicide. I find that very difficult to believe, and I'll tell you why. But first, listen to more of the 911 call.
4601 Flat Rock?
Yes.
What's wrong?
I went downstairs to go work out. I came back up. The door was latched. My fiance's inside. She wasn't answering. So after about a half hour, I decided to break it down. I see her now just on the floor with blood. Like she's not responding.
Okay, is she breathing? Look at her chest. I need you to calm down. I need you to look at her chest. It's really.
I really don't think she is.
Listen to me. Someone's on the way. Look at her chest. Is she flat on her back?
She's on her back. So
okay, look at her chest and tell me if it's going up and down, up and down.
I don't see her moving.
Did he seem a little calm? I mean, shock's different with everybody, but I don't know. That just seemed a little too calm, right? Like he's kind of calm. Like he's trying to be like not calm, but he's not real. It's not really working. I don't feel like I don't feel the urgency in his voice. I just don't feel the urgency, I guess. And I don't hear him moving anything. Like, it doesn't sound like he's moving a body around. Like she was, like he says, like her head was placed against the cabinet. You would probably hear shuffling around him, trying to get her more down on the floor in order to perform CPR, the correct way.
Okay, you are hearing the voice of Ellen Greenberg's fiance, who says, and let me understand that I've got these facts correct. Joining me an all-star panel, including Ellen's parents, Sandy and Josh. But to John Lucy joining us, a journalist for PennLive.com and the Patriot News of Harrisburg, also the author of Kill the Story. John, thank you for being with us. The workout room was in the building, correct?
Yes, there was a workout room in the building. And just to get the semantics right, when he comes back up, it wasn't bolted. It was a latch similar to those you find in a hotel room that swings over and clasps, but you can open the door a couple of inches. You know,
Oh, there it is.
it wasn't a deadbolt. It was a latch like that you find in a hotel
That's exactly what it is. That's the door.
room. So even if he would have the key, he'd be able to open the door a few inches. And those locks, those latches are easily defeated. In other words, there was some debate in the physical evidence whether the door was actually kicked in to dislodge that latch, as he described on the 911 tape. That's one of the many anomalies among the evidence.
And I want to be very clear. We are discussing why this case was not fully investigated. Why there are so many gaping, glaring holes in the investigation. Just for instance, the knife found plunged into Ellen's chest was never fingerprinted. The crime scene was not kept pristine. The apartment manager was allowed to bring in a cleaning crew before the scene was ever processed. Items such as Ellen's laptop. Wait, where's all the blood? There should have been blood everywhere, but there's not. Was there some sort of a cleanup? We believe the body was moved before police arrived. That's what I'm going to bring in Joe Scott Morgan, professor from.
So yeah, if you're dead, right? If you're not, you're no longer alive. You can't move your body. There's no way this woman did this to herself. That many. Oh my Lord, it's just too many.
Forensics. But the question is, why has this case been stymied? Why is it that the then district attorney's office, the then attorney general's office, the then police didn't want this investigation to go forward? Why did the ME then change the mode of death from homicide to suicide? Why did that happen? What happened in the interim? There's just so much. But in the last days, there has been a bombshell. I want to go to Sandy and Josh Greenberg, Ellen's parents, who I now consider to be my friends. They are broken. They are practically broke because they have spent their life savings fighting this suicide ruling. And you can find them at GoFundMe, Justice for Ellen. Sandy and Josh, thank you for being with us. And I want to apologize right up front for replaying the 911 call. I don't know if you are desensitized to it yet, if you've listened to it so many times, but I want to apologize. I hate dragging you through that, but it's evidence we cannot ignore.
That's sweet of her to say.
Thank you, Nancy. My perspective on this whole thing is the fact that we have worked so hard and done so much and now reached a really crescendo or epitome of success in some fashion, that this has made up or has softened the blow of losing our daughter. We still have that there, but instead of being in the corner and crying or howling like I do when I go to the cemetery, we have done something. And we have done something that no one else has ever done in a case like this, and we've gotten farther than anybody in a case like this. So with the help of our attorneys, Mr. Pedroza and Mr. Trask, we are very happy today in some fashion. I know that may not make sense to some people, that we should be grieving. We grieve, but we also have a mission. We have a purpose. And you can see in those pictures who she is. Recently, I've had 2 lawyers, one working for the state of New York and one working for the state, not for the state, one is a criminal defense lawyer, tell me I should fire my lawyers, I should stop spending money, I'm not going to get anywhere. And as we're going to discuss today, we have really got this case
She's a
as
teacher,
far
yeah.
as we can go in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I believe. I'm not an attorney either.
Well,
And
I have to say, you do have a success today. For over 13 years, you and Sandy have been fighting this suicide ruling. And in the last days, a momentous turn of events. You've been turned down by every court, by every prosecutor, you name it. Sandy, in the last hours, you and Josh, Ellen's parents, have achieved something that has never been done before in that jurisdiction. And that is, you are going to be allowed, finally, after 13 years, to challenge the suicide ruling. Does that mean it's going to be ruled a homicide? No. Does that mean that there is a person of interest or a suspect? No. It means that there may be an investigation of your daughter's murder.
Correct.
I think that's the least they could do.
Yep. Which I never expected to get such great news and to advance this far, but I'm not giving up. She was someone that we were raising to be the best possible version of herself, and poof, she's gone. We'll never be grandparents. We'll never have grandchildren, but I want to make her proud of us. I hope we are.
That's so sad.
I want to ask you something, Sandy. I remember the day that you and Josh and I went to the cemetery, and I walked up to where Ellen is buried. And you, but especially Josh, hung back. You could hardly even bring yourself to walk up to her plot in that cemetery. And then you couldn't speak. Why is it you couldn't bring yourself to walk up to that headstone?
It's hard to believe that that's where her body was laid to rest. And weeks after, she had died in the wintertime, and weeks after, I'd be driving at night and it's rainy and cold and nasty. And I think of my child's body lying in the box in the cemetery with all this nastiness all around her. And I just can't believe, she's just been completely eliminated.
this is not we expected to be at this time or to get to this time. We wanted a quote unquote normal family. We wanted Ellen to be happy. We wanted her to have a relationship like we do. I mean, I don't know. We don't really discuss this very often, but most marriages don't last after an incident like this. And we're now going on our 45th year
Of marriage.
That wasn't me. I don't know.
So there's a lot here that we don't speak about, but we have fought for Ellen. Justice for Ellen is the term we use. It's a term, maybe it sounds like a cliched term. I don't know how it sounds to other people, but that's what we are doing. And that is something that we have, that keeps us solid, real people together. And even as a team, it helps us as a team. I'm talking about with attorneys we work with Mr. Brennan, who we work with everybody. It keeps us going as a team.
27-year-old Ellen Greenberg found dead inside her home. Multiple stab wounds to the back of her neck, but investigators insist she took her own life.
I mean, that doesn't even sound like plausible. I mean, okay, like I can see people unaliving themselves with a knife. I guess that's in somebody's mind that's possible. I think the pain would be too great. I would probably stop before anything bad happened. But with her case, they hit certain like parts of her spine to where she would have been paralyzed, to where she wouldn't have been able to keep going. She would have been, she would have had to. She wouldn't have been able to. Oh, and BHB, yeah, I haven't watched her. I'll have to go over there and look. She probably just loves me now. Oh, Betty.
I've learned so much about Ellen. I only wish I knew her in life instead of getting to know
Oh, and she was gorgeous. That girl had a beautiful smile. You could tell she was a kind soul.
her through autopsy reports and police reports and what friends say and what her parents have told me. This is a little bit of what I know. Listen.
Ellen
Thank you.
Greenberg is a first grade teacher in Philadelphia. At 27 years old, she and longtime boyfriend Sam Goldberg have just sent out save the date cards for their upcoming wedding. A blizzard is bearing down on Philadelphia, and school has dismissed everyone early. And on her way home, Ellen stops to fill up her gas tank. Once she's home with her fiancé, Sam Goldberg leaves around 4:45 p.m. to work out in the apartment complex gym. When Sam arrives back less than an hour later, the door is locked from the inside.
Joining me is renowned forensics expert Joseph Scott Morgan, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon, star of a hit series now, Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, this is going to be very difficult for you, but in a one-word answer, did Ellen Greenberg commit suicide?
N-O, no.
Impossible. Impossible. The first time I read this file, the first time I read an article long ago about the ruling, the suicide ruling, I believe I immediately called you. Because how can anyone stab themselves 20 times that we know of? And we also know about the phenomena of overlapping stab wounds where someone is stabbed in the same spot. We're dealing with that with Brian Kohberger's case right now. So there may be more stab wounds, but I'm going to go with 20. I'm going to go with 20. How can you stab yourself 20 times? And I had to write these down in preparation for talking.
I could barely pinch myself 20 times in a row. Think about it. Just pinching your arm. That crap hurts, Like that's, I don't, there's no way.
With you this morning, Joe Scott Morgan.
And I love it when Joe Scott's so serious, when he's super serious like this. Where's Ashley at? She's missing her man.
At least 3. At least 3 of the stab wounds
It did
could be deadly. For instance, stab wound E, as in elephant, certainly fatal. Stab wound H, happy, fatal. Stab wound number 2, very likely fatal. Stab wound K had to be inflicted with a serrated abrasion. But I find that
that's like a movement back and forth. Like a serrated abrasion. Would that be something like moving back and forth?
Diametrically opposed to each other regarding trajectory path. In other words, there are vertical stab wounds, there are horizontal stab wounds, there are oblique stab wounds. One that bothers me the most, actually 2, is the one basically on top of the head. How do you attack yourself on top of your head? And the wound where her dura of her spine is cut. How do you do that to the back of your neck? And then last and most importantly, some of the wounds were inflicted post-mortem, after death. Her heart was not beating. How could she keep stabbing herself? I mean, how?
The thing about stab wounds, Nancy, is that every time an edged weapon is introduced into somebody's body, a pain center fires. So over and over again, you mentioned the number 20. So, and even for our listeners that are following this case, and many have for now these many years, you can identify with just a paper cut perhaps at home, and how painful that is. If you can imagine a serrated edge, and that's what we're talking about, just like a steak knife, okay? And it's roughly a 5-inch blade. You have to do the conversion from metric, roughly a 5-inch blade. You've got this running along the surface. So let's just
I need
take,
to see
for
Joe Scott
instance,
Morgan right now.
if
Okay,
you
Joe
just
Scott,
take,
slow it down for me.
yeah, sure. If
Go ahead.
one of the very curious things, Nancy, is the fact that you have a blade that is entering the chest, and there's a couple of these along the way where you're talking about the blade is going from right to left, then from left to right. And here's one of the really curious things. There's one of these injuries that actually the trajectory takes it upward like that, okay, as opposed to
Which one is
another
that?
deflection.
Which one is that?
I'd have to refer back to my notes at this point in time, Nancy. But if you go to H, for instance, it's 4 centimeters deep, and you're talking about from left to right. However, if you go to, let's see, which one was it? I had it right here.
Wait,
Sorry.
but I've got to ask you a very fundamental question. And this
Yeah,
is
sure.
from a lawyer, not a medical professional. Josh Sandy, Ellen's right-handed, correct?
Ellen was right-handed.
Yeah, we've asked that before. Yeah.
Okay, are we sure? Because I've been told she's right-handed.
Yes.
Are we sure Ellen was right-handed?
Yes. I
Okay,
played
that's all I
softball
needed
with
to
her.
know. You sure did. You sure did. Jessica Morgan, some of the wounds are left to right, which I completely understand if she's right-handed. But how do you do, in addition to all the steps to the back and to the top of the head and to the back of your neck?
Yep.
How do you stab yourself if you're right-handed from right to left?
It's almost empirically impossible to do this, Nancy, because you're talking about a readjustment of the blade on the plane that it's on. So you have to spin the knife in a particular direction in order to achieve this. And that's why I go back to this idea of the pain centers that are firing. So in the midst of all of this so-called frenzy that would have come along with a suicidal self-inflicted stab wound, you're having to readjust the knife backwards. You would invert the knife and then pull it back to the original orientation. In addition to that, and we're talking about now the injuries that are posterior on the back side. I don't know how.
Okay, wait. I think I just
this
figured out what
task.
you were saying. You know what?
Yeah.
You're going to have to work on your testimony, Joe Scott, because if it took me that long to figure it out. I think what you're saying was, let's pretend I've got the knife. To get those serrations on her body, she'd have to take it out of, she'd have to take the knife and turn it around and commit the next stab.
Yes.
And that is because we see which side of the knife is cutting her. So she'd have to, okay, here's an example. You know how there is the American and the European mode of cutting your meat? Europeans allegedly hold the knife and the fork, and they never swap. The American style is you swap, you cut the knife, you cut the meat with your right hand, you put down the knife, you take the fork out of your left hand and put the meat to your mouth. You swap back and forth, all right?
Correct.
That's what you're saying would have to happen here for these serrations to be performed by Ellen. She'd have to turn the knife around and then
And that, yeah, and look, perfect timing. This is a steak knife, but I will say, oh, we talked about this in the last one. I have this same knife. Pretty sure it's same one. Maybe not, maybe not. But if it is, this knife is extremely sharp. It's a brand called Cutco. And it's a I forget exactly what kind of knife it is. It's slightly bigger than a steak knife, though. I should go grab it for you guys. I think that's what I did last time. I went and grabbed it because it's literally same handle. Like the handle's what kind of like, I was like, that looks like the same. But if it is, but this could just be, and those are from like, I think Germany. No, not Germany. Yeah, Germany. Whoever makes the really good knives. Is it people that live in Germany? Germans? I don't know. Something like that. But I know it was, I mean, it did go through 20 times, but I'm pretty sure it's the same one that I have. And it's serrated. Yeah, and it's serrated too. So
that did not happen. And again, there is no person of interest. There is no suspect. All there is a big stinking mess because this case was not investigated. Tom Brennan joining me.
Can I please add one more thing?
What?
Okay.
Could I stop you? No.
Yeah, sure you could. But one of the biggest faux pas here relative to this report, and you're breaking a norm here with this autopsy report. Nowhere in this autopsy report are the length of Ellen's arms mentioned. And when you're talking about, and I've been involved in over 7,000 autopsies, Nancy, and anytime you're talking about knife wounds and you're talking about self-inflicted events, you have to measure the arm length to see if this is even possible for this to occur. This has never occurred in this autopsy. We've talked about this in the past. And so I cannot understand why in the world they would not have taken the time to do a shoulder. Why in the world they would not?
Joe Scott, I thought you were waxing philosophic again on the art of a medical examination, but I've never heard that mentioned before. The length of her arms were not taken into consideration, or whether she was right-handed or left-handed. Hold on, hold your thought. Tom Brennan joining me, private eye consultant for the Greenberg family. He's been on from the beginning. Tom Brennan, in a nutshell, what happened? Every time we get together and talk about this case, I learn something new, like Joe Scott just describing the length of her arms was not taken into account. And that is critical. But
I think I had her height up somewhere. I think she's 5 foot or 5'2" or something like that. I wonder if there's like a website we could go to that just has like the normal, like a normal arm length. Do you know what I mean? For that height, like what the normal range would be. I don't think she had abnormally short arms or abnormally long arms, but I mean, it might tell us something.
Renee Nauer came up with the fact that at least 3 of these wounds, along with Dr. Michelle Dupree, were fatal, but yet she kept stabbing herself. In addition to the impossibility of killing yourself over 20 stab wounds, if 3 of them were fatal and many committed post-mortem. My question to you, Tom Brennan,
Okay, well, I'm 5'8", but I feel like my arms are pretty long. I thought she was shorter than what she is. So she's like this, almost pretty much the same size as me. A little bit smaller, maybe 5'7", 136. So, and it's a 10-inch knife. Oh, Nancy, I got you in a bad spot. Sorry about that, Nancy.
Thank you for staying on the case. But the question is, what happened in between the medical examiner naming this a homicide and then suddenly going, oh, yeah, scratchy. I've now decided it's a suicide. What happened in the interim, Tom Brennan?
Well, I don't know. If you think about it, you got 10 inches too, like to your back. But how are you going? I mean, I'm pretty flexible. And that, I mean, I don't know. That would take some, I can't even reach down there. Go up this way. Like, I mean, she's got wounds like in the middle of where I'm hitting. Like literally in the middle of that. In that spot you can't itch, and it's always itchy.
Well,
Like the one you can't reach, that area.
what you have to understand, there were 2 meetings, unrecorded meetings, okay, between the medical examiner and the police. And one meeting was with the
She looks smaller than 137. To me, she does. She looks smaller, like 120.
member of the district attorney's office, the police, and the Dr. Galino and
I guess
Dr.
she might.
Osborne. Okay, and at that meeting, that's when Dr. Osborne decided he was going to change his findings from homicide to suicide. Okay.
Okay, hold on. John Lucy joining me from penlive.com. Did I just hear John Lucy, Tom Brennan, state that after the homicide ruling, the medical examiner met with law enforcement and suddenly changed his mind? Did I hear that?
Yes,
Yes.
you did.
Yeah, and that's another thing. If you're going to take yourself out, right? If you're going to you're going to want to go quick, right? You're not going to want to suffer. Women tend to unalive themselves when they do unalive themselves in a clean kind of way. Overdose, something like that, poisoning, drinking something. Normally, and this is just what I've heard from going to school for criminal justice, is like they don't like to leave a mess. Psychologically, they don't want to leave that mess for somebody. So they'll do something like poison or something like along those lines. Now, this is a horrific way to go out. Now, if you're going to use a knife, right? Wouldn't you just stab yourself right in the heart? Like go right where you're not, I mean, like where you're, that's going to be the spot to hit probably. I mean, I couldn't even think of it about it. Or like your temple. I don't know. I'm just thinking like, I mean, there's way better places than your back. And like that many injuries before you would succumb. And I wonder how many of those injuries she had before she succumbed to them, because I don't think she did this.
And the most
I'm
powerful
hoping it was
thing
the
that has
first
come
one.
out due to the Greenberg family's persistence on this case is they have been able to get those medical examiner officials under oath in sworn depositions in which both Osborne and Galino spelled out the fact that these meetings occurred. So it's on the record under sworn deposition that these meetings occurred. And in addition to the U.S., the PA Supreme Court case challenging the cause of death ruling, there's another civil action by the Greenbergs alleging a cover-up among the detectives and the ME's office in Philadelphia. And they are now in the process of moving forward with depositions in that case, which is finally going to get some of the detectives under oath so they can be questioned about what happened at that crime scene on the night of her death.
Please join us on our mission to find missing people, especially children, to solve unsolved homicides. If you're on the go, catch us on your favorite podcast app where you can get all of our content where we, in our own way, seek justice.
What happened to beloved Philly teacher Ellen Greenberg? The Pennsylvania Supreme Court agrees to review the case amidst a controversial ruling.
Controversial. Well, that's certainly one way to put it. Can we just all agree? And if anybody on the panel disagrees, jump in. How many times do I have to tell you we're not having high tea at Windsor Castle with Charles and Camilla? Jump in. Number one, no fingerprints were taken on the knife. Number two, no.
I don't know if Nancy's like doing that or it's me, but I don't think it's me. Because I got full, you know.
Forensic tests were done
Right.
on the door. Was it really latched? Was it really, was it broken into? What really happened? Was there any evidence taken regarding fingerprints? On the rest of the cabinets, was luminol ever used? Why was her laptop and her cell phone taken from the apartment? Why was the cleaning crew called in to clean the apartment before it could be fully
Who took her laptop and phone, Nancy?
processed? There are so many questions. And most important in my mind, what happened in that closed door meeting with the medical examiner and members of law enforcement who ruled it suicide on the scene before any investigation? What happened in that meeting? Joining me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. But first, more of the 911 call. And remember, no one has been named a person of interest. No one has been named a suspect. But I can tell you this was not a suicide. Why has this case been suppressed? What is it that law enforcement, I'm talking about the district attorney's office, I'm talking about, yes, I'm saying it, the attorney general's office. Why don't they want this case investigated? What's the problem? Listen to this.
Okay, do you know how to do CPR?
I don't.
Okay, I can tell you what to do, okay, until they get there. I want you to...
Oh, God.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, okay.
Willing to do CPR with me over the phone until they...
I have to, right?
Okay, so get her flat on her back, bare her chest, okay? You want to rip her shirt off. Okay? Kneel down by her side.
Oh, my God. Allie, please.
Listen, you can't freak out, sir, because you...
Okay, I'm trying not. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper. Oh, my God. She stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell a knife. Oh, no. Her knife's sticking out.
What?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
She stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she fell on it. I don't know.
Okay, well, don't touch it.
Now, I want to know what kind of position she was in to where he just saw that 10-inch knife in the chest. How was she hiding that from him? You know, if supposedly she was supposed to be laying flat on the floor because he was supposed to be rendering CPR to her at this point. He was getting her ready to be doing CPR. So
many things are jumping out at me from that 911 call. Number one, when the caller is told to try to do CPR, the caller says, I have to, right? Then the caller says,
I'll give him a little credit there. Just a little credit. Maybe he was thinking like, I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I don't know if I would say like, I have to do this. You know, like some people get really frantic-y, like but he's not frantic. That's the thing though. Like his voice doesn't match what it should.
OMG, she stabbed herself. Where did that come from? Number three, the caller says she fell on a knife. She fell on a knife. No, the knife sticking out. Fell on a knife. That's a unique theory. Okay. Again, I cannot reiterate enough that no one has been named a suspect or a person of interest. I want to go back to John Lucy joining us, journalist for PennLive.com, and followed by Benet Nauer. John, who do you understand to have been at that meeting where the medical examiner suddenly had some sort of an epiphany and named the multiple stabbing a suicide?
Based on the deposition of Galino and Osborne, there were detectives who were handling the case who were pressing their own version of evidence of suicide. And the things that are named in the deposition as their evidence is the lack of defensive wounds on her hands. In other words, if she was being stabbed by an assailant, you raise your hands and you have stab wounds on the hands. That was one. And the second thing that was mentioned by those detectives to the ME's officials to change the ruling was the locked door, the latch, the hotel latch, which may or may not have actually been broken off on both sides to enter that room. And again, it all goes back to the night of her death. And for whatever reason, those responding detectives treated it as a suicide. And they bought into the narrative established on the 911 call that was a suicide. And they did not preserve the scene to be fully processed. And by the time that the ME ruled it a homicide, and by the time the detectives got back, you're right, it was cleaned by a professional cleaning crew. And even the video that the hotel manager shot of the apartment as it existed before the cleaning, that has been subsequently lost. That was turned over to police, and now that tape of what existed in that apartment before the cleaning is gone as well. And that's all on the record.
The bizarre case of Ellen Greenberg, the 27-year-old Philly teacher found dead in her own home, stabbed 20 times, ruled a suicide.
What happened to Ellen? Let me understand something to you, Joe Scott Morgan, professor of forensics, death investigator, and author. Were her fingernail scrapings ever taken? Do we know?
No, not to the best of my knowledge. No. And that's
you have heard. You've heard bandied about that there were no defensive wounds.
Mm-hmm.
What say you? And also, what do you make of markings on Ellen's neck and multiple bruisings across her body in various stages of healing?
Yeah. And we refer to those in forensic pathology as resolution. And so you've got multiple areas of small bruises, contusions that are in various stages of healing throughout the body. And that's certainly very interesting. And I remember asking Josh and Sandy years ago, I think we had a conversation. I said, did Ellen have a problem walking or a problem with her gait, or is some kind of inner ear problem where she had some kind of problem with balance? She's bouncing off of walls and furniture and all, and they couldn't come up. They said, no, that wasn't the case. So, why would she have? And I even wanted to know if she had some kind of disorder, blood disorder or something. Maybe she's just spontaneously bruising. I have no idea. But none of that can be proved.
Back to the markings on her neck. Weigh in.
Yeah, when we're talking about markings on the neck, Nancy, that's something that is so crucial relative to their current status at autopsy, relative to how fresh they are. Are they going through resolution at this point in time? And I think that it's very important in this case because the neck on anyone that is being stabbed is a point of contact where a perpetrator would place their hands on somebody's neck as a point of control in order to drive a blade into somebody's body. That has to be examined very, very carefully.
To Sandy Greenberg, what do you make of the fact that no luminol was ever used at the scene? The scene was cleaned by professional cleaners. Her fingernails were never scraped. And I firmly believe that there is evidence her body was moved before police or first responders got there.
I'm horrified that she was treated so poorly, and I'm embarrassed for the Philadelphia Police Department. They wouldn't do that to if any of their children were in this situation. They wouldn't be treated like this. She paid taxes, and she deserves the same justice and the same attention that everyone else gets.
Well, she's a human being. Of course she should. And nobody stabs himself 20 times. Who does that? Nobody. Not even the toughest of the toughest, I think, would be able to pull that off.
Should get.
I'm just very curious. John Lucy joining us, journalist, PN Live, and the Patriot News of Harrisburg. Why her fingernails were never removed to see if she scratched anyone. How, with a straight face, a medical examiner how could he state she had 3 potentially fatal stabs and kept stabbing herself? After that, those debilitating stabs, how she
3 of
stabbed
them.
herself in the spine, nicking the dura, and kept going. How she got stabs on the very top of her head, virtually impossible. No luminol was done, and very, very significant, John Lucy. There was dried blood going horizontally across her face, dried that way. Yet
I mean,
she
she was
was
laying down.
found by first responders sitting up, slumped up vertically against the kitchen cabinets.
That doesn't make sense. She would have been laying down flat for that to happen.
The blood should have been going down, not across. That indicates staging, John Lucy.
Isn't her kid's name John and Lucy? I swear that's her kids' names.
Well, we call that the wrong way blood, and it's one of the many anomalies at the crime scene that was treated as a suicide scene the night of her death, and thus never preserved and never processed. That is the original sin of this whole case. And that's why this case, even if it goes to the PA Supreme Court and is ruled that it can be reinvestigated as a homicide, likely never ends in a perpetrator being identified, because with the way that scene was handled, all that evidence was erased. As for that dura and that the spinal cord specimen, that was preserved from the original autopsy, but it was never fully sectioned and photographed until many years later, after the Greenbergs kept up their own investigation, and Galino finally turned that dura over to another assistant ME. She processed it, she investigated it, and she's the first one to put on the record in a sworn deposition that the spinal cord wound had no bleeding associated with it, meaning it was a post-mortem wound. And that is all on the record in the sworn depositions that the Greenbergs have secured as part of their lawsuit.
The body of Ellen Greenberg is transported to the medical examiner's office with the knife still lodged in her chest. Dr. Marlon Osborne discovers Ellen has been stabbed 20 times in the chest, neck, and head. 10 of the stab wounds are to her back and neck. 8 of the stab wounds are to her chest. Dr. Osborne notes that the knife embedded in her left chest is through her clothing. Ellen Greenberg is wearing 2 shirts when she is stabbed, and the defects in the shirts are consistent with the underlying wounds.
And more significantly, listen.
Performing the autopsy on Ellen Greenberg, Dr. Marlon Osborne notes that beyond the stabs to the back and the neck area, Ellen also has a 2-inch stab wound to her stomach and a 2.5-inch long gash across her scalp. Ellen also has 11 bruises all over her body, her right arm, leg, and abdomen that are all in various stages of healing. Dr. Marlon Osborne rules Ellen Greenberg's death a homicide.
I don't understand so many aspects of this case, but Sandy and Josh Greenberg breaking their silence now. How could Ellen, who is right-handed, stab herself repeatedly in her right arm? How? How do you, with your right hand, stab yourself in your right arm? And who could keep stabbing themselves after 3 fatal stab wounds?
The whole thing is just I can't say it on the air, but it is just a big mess. It doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. The fact there's 2 knives makes no sense. The fact that the way the wounds are make no sense. The fact she has a brutal wound on the top of her head makes no sense.
Sandy, why is it so important, as you've stated in the past, to clear Ellen's name? She's already lost her life. Why is it important to you that her death be fully investigated?
It's wrong. And for me, I need to be able to lay my head on my pillow at night and know that I did everything I needed to do. And this is very important to me.
Why
And
do
my
you believe, Sandy, that anyone would want to cover up the true nature of Ellen's murder?
When we were being deposed by the city for the lawsuit, I had 5 different attorneys questioning me and insisting, trying to put words in my mouth and insisting upon this being a suicide, which it clearly wasn't. I was just so, professionally speaking, I would be so ashamed of myself if I were them.
But why? My question is, why would anyone do this?
There are 2 reasons. A, the police did a lousy investigation. B, someone's being protected. I can't think of any other reasons.
We wait and we pray that justice will unfold in the murder of Ellen Greenberg. We stop now and we remember American hero Detective Sergeant Mason Griffith, just 34, shot and killed in the line of duty. He is survived by a grieving wife, Jennifer, and sons, Trevor and Jason, sentenced to life without their father. American hero Detective Sergeant Mason Griffith. Thank you to all of our guests, especially to Josh and Sandy Greenberg, my friends. But thank you to you for being with us and to our new MSM family as we struggle tonight and every night for justice.
Oh, I was like, what's she going to say? What's she going to say? I would thought it was going to be something different, but I forgot to bring Nancy out and put her out tonight. I do have a cardboard Nancy. She's in the closet right now. I've been taking it down, so it just creates more room. Yeah, right, Deborah. Yeah. I was just reading the stuff here. I just don't, I mean, I don't get it. I have the autopsy report and stuff. I have all the documents. I need to get them somehow bigger. Like some of these are pretty small. Let me see if I can. How do you get the screen to get bigger? Maybe. No. That's all there. Okay, there we go. Let me see. Actually, we'll go through the website. We'll go through this first. This is the newest news. So the newest news that's come out, this is from July 31st, 2024. But it says here, a key witness in the civil lawsuit filed by Ellen Greensburg parents is prepared to testify that then Philadelphia medical examiner said Ellen died by homicide and that her body had been moved after her fatal stabbing. And then there's a picture of Ellen and Sam. So the family attorney is saying that her body was moved post-mortem. Can't really do that to yourself, you know. I got up really quick a minute ago whenever the last that was rolling and the dog got up with me. She thought we were leaving the room. And that is a really cute puppy. Is that your puppy? That's really cute. Or Holla if it is. Oh, it's a cute dog. See, they did. Well, see, they didn't know. Well, we don't know if he really busted in the door or not. You know, he supposedly he went down and he got the oh, I'll share this with you here. He supposedly went down and he got security. So this is him getting security. That's for them going up. But that's looks like the concierge or whatever his name is, the guy that kind of just sits downstairs, watches the building. And that's at 642. And then there's the latch of the door that they were talking about. These are all the pictures we saw in Nancy. There's the picture of the weapon. That does look like the same one. I'll have to show you guys that sometime. And then this is the layout of their house, it looks like. So the entry is right here, right beside where she was found. And it looks like she was found right in, I mean, she was making a salad, for gosh sakes, you know, like it wasn't like she was planning things. She was planning, you know, she went and got gas. She filled up gas in her car. She was talking to her friend. She was talking to her mom, you know, about things that were going to happen in the future. It just is very crazy to me that she would go home, make half of a salad, and then decide in the middle of making a salad, okay, yeah, I'm just going to off myself with this knife that's 10 inches. I don't even know if I don't know if I would trust that to be strong enough to do the job. And you know what I mean? Like I would want to make sure if I'm going to do that, I would want to make sure it happens, you know, like I don't want to have to do it 20 times. I wouldn't think anyone would want to do that. It does, Casey. This case does scream injustice. This is just one of those, like, and their kitchen area did look pretty small from the pictures that we saw. And then they have like pictures of her here when she was younger, and then pictures like older. And then I think up here, these are all Gavin's videos. And just as Ellen Greenberg was a 27-year-old first grade teacher at Uwana Park Academy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at approximately 6:40 p.m. on January 26, 2011. Ellen was pronounced dead as a result of 20 stab wounds, including 10 to the back of her head and neck. In addition, there were 11 bruises in various stages of resolution on her right arm, abdomen, and right leg. Despite all the evidence to the contrary, the medical examiner, Dr. Marlon Osborne, ruled her death a suicide. He later admitted that he had originally planned on ruling the manner of death either a homicide or undetermined, but changed it at the insistence of the police. So even he's saying, police told me to do it. We'll put it back in the spotlight. So basically what I was just reading earlier, like they're saying that her body was moved. They've been fighting with like the Supreme Court and for years, just for them to reopen her case and maybe change their decision. And that's what they're doing right now. They won that. And so they may, if they have any integrity, they will go look at her case and they will go back and investigate it and reinvestigate her case with whatever evidence they have, whatever they did collect, you know. But it's really sad if someone, I mean, whoever did this, because we know someone did this to her, if that person gets away with it, you know. I just don't know anybody that would unalive somebody and then take the time to do that lock. You know that, I mean, you would have to know that a trick to get that lock to lock without, I don't know the trick, with those little like latch locks. They say they're very easy to manipulate. So let me go back down to it. Like these kind of locks. But I mean, this is popped out. So it looks like it was locked at one point. I mean, if he did this when he kicked it in, or whoever kicked it in, I believe it was the boyfriend. Might have been the fire department. Yeah, the court admitted to my yeah. To the parents too. Right? I mean, like, her parents have been fighting for justice for their daughter, and they're one step closer to almost getting that, obtaining that. But we can go over her, like, autopsy and stuff one night. I think it's like 27 pages. Let's see here. Maybe I can read through some of this. Okay, maybe we'll read through like the first couple of pages of these. So this is the investigation report for the city of Philadelphia. And this was on, that was the date of her death. Sorry. I don't know when this was done. I'll have to find out for you guys. But it was done right around the same time. So it says here, origin and details. On 1/26/11 at 1931, Detective Sierra 9103 of Homicide called to report the death of the above decedent found in her apartment with a knife in her chest. Now, if she's sitting there like we saw in the picture, she's sitting up. How did Sam not see that? Now, I mean, that's pretty long. Even if it's 10 inches and most of it's in there, you would still see the handle. This says, at scene, I arrived at the scene at 2027 and was met by 5th District Police Snipes 6358 and Young 6960 holding the log. Sergeant Ferguson, Detective Veal, and Detective Ravel, the assigned DC, Homicide Sierra. Okay, I'm not going to read that. Okay. The decedent's fiancé, Samuel Goldberg, along with his family and some friends, were also present. At what time is this? At 2027. That'd be 10:30, right? 10:30. So you got friends and people over there 4 hours later? So 4 hours later, he's got his parents and everything over? What the hell? No. Why are you calling people to the scene? This is like some John Benet Ramsey crap. What is it? Well, man, this is crazy. It says that the decedent's fiancé, Samuel Goldberg, reportedly left the decedent at the apartment around 16:45 to go to the gym. He returned around 17:15 to 17:30 and was unable to get into the apartment. He opened the door with his keys, but the door was secure from the inside. He proceeded to try and contact the decedent via text messages, telephone calls, and emails for approximately an hour before he forced entry into the apartment. I don't know if I have the text messages right here now or not, but if not, I'll find the text messages for you guys on the next live and we'll go over those. The location, it says body and vicinity. The location of death is in the kitchen of the decedent's apartment located at the Venice Loft Apartments. It gives the address. It's a 2-bedroom apartment on the 6th floor of the building shared by the decedent with her fiancé, Samuel Goldberg. The apartment is well kept, clean. The inside lock to the front door, a common latch / solid bar door guard, is broken with the screws on the door loose, obviously forced in when in locked position. Throughout the entire apartment, there is no evidence of a struggle. Furniture and items appear in place. Nothing is what was I reading here? Obviously, I missed where I was at. Obviously missing or disturbed. There are numerous valuables present, present money, keys, 3 laptop computers. One in the kitchen is on the island, appears to be Goldberg's. One in the master bedroom suite on the floor appears to be the decedent's, as evidenced by wedding material, and one of the additional bedroom desks appear to be the decedent's work computer, as evidenced by numerous teaching materials. The decedent is a teacher. There is no note found or anything indicative of suicide on the computers or in the rest of the apartment. The only way to exit the apartment with the front doorway locked is through a rear slider leading to a patio. The patio is 6 stories high. There is snow present with no tracks or footprints, completely undisturbed. The ambient temperature is inside the apartment reads 69 degrees Fahrenheit on the thermostat. The incident occurred during a winter snowstorm. Okay. Well, 69 is kind of low if it's this winter snowstorm, but I mean, I usually keep mine about 71. Prescription medications are recovered from a bedstand located at the master bedroom. Prescriber Dr. Ellen Bierman. I'm just going to give you the. I'm not going to read you the. I'm going to give you the real name. So Xanax, Clozapine, and Zoloft. It looks like a paper booklet is in the decedent's pocketbook that's on a chair in the living room. Island resembles a journal of her medications and her state of mind while taking last dated 1/16. The decedent's cell phone is in the master bedroom. Review of her call and message logs reveal that one last outgoing call was to a number, and it redacted it, on 1/26 at 14:33, duration 30 seconds. Last call was to a programmed, and gives the number, additional missed calls from a programmed Sam Goldberg on 1/26/2011 between 17:30 and 17:42, and programmed Venice Lofts at 1/16/11 between 18:07 and 18:10. The last outgoing text to be programmed was on 1/16/11 at 15:47. The last incoming text and the email and an email from program Sam Goldberg on that date between 17:32 and 17:54. Here's the text here. So the first one was hello. The second one's open the door. Third one, what are you doing? Fourth, I'm getting pissed. 5, hello. 6, you better have an excuse. 7, what the fuck? 8, 9, you have no idea. Now, I don't know what you have no idea. That sounds like a threat. Like you have no idea what's going to happen to you when I get in there kind of deal. But the decedent is on the hardwood kitchen floor, located just inside the door entrance. The decedent is found supined with her head and some of her upper body shoulders resting against the lower half of the white kitchen cabinets next to the range. Her body, starting with the head, is facing north and the legs west. She is clad in a zipper up dark colored shirt over top a t-shirt, gray sweatpants, underwear, and light brown Ugg boots. A pair of eyeglasses are on the floor to the right of the decedent. A white towel is grasped in her left hand. A hair tie or scrunchie is on her right wrist. There is no personal effects on the body. Upon further examination of the body, no personal effects. Wait, where's her wedding ring? Where's her engagement ring? She was engaged. Where was her engagement ring? I'm wondering. Did they ever find it? I just thought of that. At least you go to the gym. I need to start going. I'm going to start going Monday. That's what I say every Monday, though. I'm ready this Monday, though. I'm ready. Just because we do our lives late, so I get a little sleepy. And I used to wake up so early. Now that I can enjoy myself and not have to wake up so sleepy, it's just better. Did this not share with you guys? I didn't even share this with you guys. I've been reading it. Why didn't it share it? Let me share it like that. Did it share it now? Yeah. What the heck? I've been reading you. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I've been reading you guys, and you guys been looking at this door latch for the last 20 minutes. So sorry. You guys are the best. You're like, just let me go. I thought I shared it, but there's something going on with StreamYard, and it's telling me to double share it. It's really weird right now. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. It's just, I probably need to maybe update it or something. It's really weird. So there was a pair of eyeglasses on the floor right of her body, and a white towel was grasped in her left hand. Upon further examination of the body, the decedent has a knife embedded in her left chest through her clothing. There are multiple stab wounds examined at the scene. Okay, that almost sounds like the one. Okay, it says the decedent has a knife embedded in the left chest, so heart area. Why wouldn't you start with that? Why would you end with that? The reason would be she's not unaliving fast enough, and you want to do the coup de grace or whatever. You just want to get her, and that way you can get out of there. You know what I mean? That's what that sounds like to me, because it was like they were stabbing, and then they finally was like, okay, this is the fatal one. There were multiple stab wounds examined at the scene, at the chest where the knife is located. A few superficial, grounded near or grouped nearby. One to the left upper chest near the clavicle. Two more at the mid chest between just below the breast. There are defects to the shirt consistent with the underlying wounds. There are no defense injuries to the hands, wrist, or forearms. The right hand is closed in a loose fist. Post-mortem findings at arrival at 2027 and 2155 are the same. The body is mostly flaccid. The hands appear to be slightly stiff. The body is cool to the touch at the extremities and warm to the touch at the torso, front and back. Lividity is conspicuous. I can't even say that. Sorry. Findings are consistent with current position of the body. Blood is present on the head, in the hair, and neck. Huh. Okay. The right hand has blood on it. On the front side of her shirt, along her pants, on the front side, and on the top of both of her boots is blood. The right boot has blood on the sole. The blood around her is generally confined to the area of the body, on the floor underneath, and on the face of the cabinets behind her. One small blood spatter is on the cabinet to the left of the body. Two separate drops of blood spatter are on the granite countertop above. Two kitchen knives are in the sink adjacent to the body. They are free of any blood or tissue. The sink underneath is dry and also bears no evidence of blood or tissue. A knife block is on the counter between the sink and range. It is turned over to the side. The three utensils are a spatula, fork, and paring knife. All that bears no evidence of blood or tissue. The knife in her body is consistent with the knife set found in the sink and in the block. Wow. Let me see what this one goes to. We'll read down through there. And then this is the interviews. Police at the scene provided the information described. In the background section, uniformed police briefly canvassed the hall. At the time, no neighbors reported any loud noises or arguments. So no argument, no loud noise. I would think I'd be screaming myself if I was even stabbing myself. I don't know. Fiancé Sam Goldberg, and police initially interviewed him. He provided the information described in the background section. He was taken to NWDD for further interviews. Parents Joshua and Sandra Greenberg. That's the parents of Ellen. The identification was completed via telephone by the decedent's parents, Josh and Sandra. They were notified of the death by the parents of the decedent's fiancé. What? So his mama and his daddy called and told? He had his parents call her parents to tell her parents that his fiance was dead, that their daughter was dead? You should have did that yourself, buddy. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how you're like, I don't care. That's something that you should do. As a man, you should tell her parents. You should be the one. You were in charge of keeping their daughter safe. I'm sorry, but you were kind of in a way, you know? So what happened? Oh, I hope your headache goes away. We'll go in a minute, Mia. Just lay down for just a minute. She got on the chair. She's so smart. Sometimes I'll tell her to get on the chair and she does it. I'm like, what? How do you even know what I'm saying? Mom states the last time she talked to the decedent was the same day at 700 hours when they were both on their way to work. They had a pleasant conversation. She gave no indication that something was immediately wrong. The decedent had been battling issues with anxiety since the end of last year. Mom states that she was struggling with something for which she urged her to seek help. She was seeing a psychiatrist, Ellen Berman, in Marion Station. The decedent, as described, as anxious, insecure, not sure of herself, and not liking how she felt, characteristics that were not the norm her entire life. The decedent expressed to the parents that she was a bit overwhelmed with her classroom work. The decedent's occupation is a teacher for the school district of Philadelphia, currently teaching at Uwana Academy Elementary School, employed for 3 years. She is described as a bright woman who was very successful and recently received her master's degree in education and certified in reading specialty. The day of the incident occurred is the same day the school grades were to be handed in. The decedent was in a committed relationship with Sam Goldberg. They had been together for 3 years, recently engaged over the summer. The parents had no reservations about their relationship. They described the fiancé Sam as a fine young man. They were happy to have him as an in-law. They had no knowledge of any verbal or physical abuse. The parents deny any previous suicide attempts or ideations. The incident is a surprise to them despite her issues with anxiety. Is this the whole site? Is that all of it? Okay. Psychiatrist Ellen Berman, they interviewed her via telephone. When notified of the death, Berman was upset. She states that the decedent was a new patient of hers, only seeing her 3 times. She gives the dates. She saw her on 112, 117, and 119. Wow. She was scheduled for an appointment 127. The decedent presented initially in a severe anxiety for 2 months. During her brief sessions, it was believed that she was having difficulty with work, overwhelmed, and felt pressure. She did mention that she was doing well, but the school district changed some regulations. She also had issues with difficult students. She didn't know whether to quit or work through it. Berman was in the process of developing a treatment plan and was in contact with the decedent's mother, who called expressing concerns for her daughter. There was never any feeling of suicidal thoughts. When asked about her fiancé, the decedent had nothing but good things to say about him, mentioned they were getting married, and he was wonderful. Berman even noted a smile when she spoke of him. Berman recalls asking about the abuse, and the decedent denied any verbal or physical confrontations. The decedent was initially prescribed medications, although she expressed the uneasiness of taking medication. She tried Zoloft first and then switched to a low dose of Xanax. After no success, Berman prescribed Ambien and Klonopin to help her get sleep. There was never any indication of abusive behavior. Action. The scene and body were examined, interviews were conducted, and photographs were taken. The knife was kept in place during transport. The RX meds and small booklet was taken as evidence. The body was ordered for transport to the MEO via police wagon for further postmortem examination. Comments. The knife recovered from autopsy is a single-edged serrated blade approximately 12.5 centimeters in length and 1.5 centimeter wide. The handle is approximately 12.5 centimeter in length. It is a Cutco. Oh my God, it is it. Cutco brand steak knife. Didn't I tell y'all? Holy shit, it is the same knife. I thought it was. I said at the beginning of the live, Cutco knife. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I know what kind of knife that is. That's a very sharp knife. That's a very sharp knife. I own that same knife. I use it every day. I thought I'd get another. They're forever. When you buy them, they're forever, guaranteed forever. Like you can give them to your kids, and they're guaranteed for them forever. They give them to their kids, are guaranteed forever. They have no warrant. It's not unlimited. It's like forever guarantee. Yeah, National Native. I've had them. I used to work for them. That's why I know so much about their knives. But I'm not a seller like that. So I bought some, and that's about it. I didn't sell any. I just bought them. But I had their scissors. Their scissors were the best. You could take them apart and wash them, and they were for righties or lefties. Oh, they were so awesome. I don't know whatever happened to those. But yeah, wow, that is the same one. Yeah, she did try, but this is 2011. I think they were a little more maybe open with giving medication because I have anxiety like no one's business, and I'm not even on a medication for anxiety. You do, for crying out loud? Isn't it amazing? She has her mom's old Cutco set. You have forever guarantee on that things. They're called Cutco. CUTCO. They're real good knives. They really are. And I mean, sad that we're talking about it, but pack of 6, only $1.25. I actually went there today and I bought some books. You know, like when you decorate with books, like you want to decorate. If you go to the Dollar Tree, sometimes they'll have hardcover books. You just take off the plastic wrapping and you have like these cute books you can sit around. I needed a third book on this huge wooden like table we have. And I have like a pottery on there with like eucalyptus and stuff. And I have these candles, but I only had 2 books and I needed 3 because I want an odd number. So I went to Dollar Tree today and found one. I was like, and then I found a yellow one. I mean, not yellow, I'm sorry, a red one and a green one. And I was like, oh, for Christmas. I'm already thinking about Christmas. It's August 31st. Get your fall decor out. When do you guys when do you guys start like decorating for fall? Is it like after Labor Day? Is that the time that people do that? Is that when is it socially acceptable? Asking for a friend. Actually, I don't even know if I have anything. Yeah, I do have pumpkins around here somewhere. A lot of pumpkins, actually. Oh yeah, I got a lot. And I like glass jar pumpkins. Oh yeah, where's all my stuff? Vincent asked me if I needed something out of the storage today, and I told him no, and I needed stuff. I forgot. I need things. I need the suitcase for the experiment for Sarah Boone, and then I need my decorations tomorrow. Yeah. Man, it's just like fall. It's just weird to see fall stuff, you know? I'm gonna go to the pool tomorrow. They better have that pool open for at least a little while longer because it's supposed to be warm. Like, isn't it gonna be warm all week? Don't get cold on me yet. Let me look. It's because it seems like really all of a sudden it's freezing. Like it goes from 90, 80, 90s to like 60s, 50s, and that gets really cold as like at first, and then it gets even colder. Yeah, no, wait, no, 70s, 80s. Yeah, you keep that pool open. It has a trial date. I think it's supposed to be going on October 7th or something like October 9th or October 7th, I believe. No matter if she has her new attorney or whatever. Even if she would have got that new attorney because she has a new one, like the day before her like date of trial, they said he better just learn or she better just learn what they needed to learn. So October, yeah, I'm thinking maybe more. I don't know. I'll probably get it out September. I'll probably be getting it out tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be cooler here tomorrow. And it was actually not too bad today here. I don't actually know. It was a little bit hot today. But it's going to be 83 tomorrow. So that's not too bad. Yeah, I got to get some pumpkins. Oh, wait, it's September already. Are we going anywhere? I don't know if we're going to LA or not. We haven't really talked about it. This will be the first year we don't go. We have to go. Why aren't we going? I'm like asking you guys. I'm like asking myself, like asking you guys. I'm like, wait a minute. We usually are going this week, so I feel bad. Well, at least the dogs will have me in here with them. The other one's over here. She looks so cute. Oh, Raya. Oh, Riley. She's not even moving. She's done for. I'm gonna have to go watch Betty's live. I guess she was talking mad crap about Steven and in return talking mad crap about me. We didn't say anything too bad about Betty. I do. He didn't, but I do. I mean, I guess he did call her a bitch. Guess he did do that. But yeah. But thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate you. 100 yesterday. You're in Ohio too? Yeah. That's Ohio weather. Today I'm thinking, I was thinking it wasn't as bad today. Because I wore jeans. You want to go? I know, me too. Is Dolly live? Is this his first one? Because I don't think he's been on, has he, since he's had his heart attack? He hasn't. Not my time yet. Oh my gosh. If you go over there, tell him you're here for me too. I'll have to go over there. He's home. He's online. So, yeah, well, I'll have to go over there and tell him we're glad we see him. Because, no matter what, he's a human and he's a creator on the platform. And to me, he's almost like a coworker in a way, because we are in the same category, same genre. So I think of Dolly as, like another, like a coworker almost. So yeah, we'll have to go over there and say, hi to Dolly. Dolly and PJ, it looks like they're both online, talking. They're probably just talking about what happened to him. Man, my chest was hurting the other day before his, and I was like, I freak out automatically. So I'm so glad that he's okay. I'm so glad. Oh, did they? Did they end it? Are they done? We'll have to go over and comment. Yeah, they did. They just got done. Or no, they're live still. Okay. Or no, maybe they're not. I think they just got done. How I don't know. It looks like, oh yeah, it looks like they were just on. Were they only on for like 20 minutes? It's weird because it says he's live, but he's not live. Wow. We'll have to go comment over there. But he does, yeah. It's going to take some time. He's going to have to, he's going to have to make some changes. I mean, he was in the ICU, so he had one nurse just for him. He probably tortured the hell out of her in a good way, in a good way. And I mean, you never know. You never know. You never know what tomorrow is going to bring. And you never know. You never know. I mean, and thank God he has PJ, and I feel bad for her. If Vincent had a heart attack in front of me, I would be a mess. Yeah, he was on there talking true crime to the nurses. He was probably like, sit down, I need to talk to somebody. I'm doing a live call-in show at the hospital or something. I'm surprised we didn't see it. He was there for a while. He got a stent put in, everything. I'm glad he's okay too. I really am. I'm glad. I mean, we can't use any more death on this platform this year. We already had heels go, and man, that was too much before her time. I can't even talk about Hills without getting upset. So I'm going to jump off here before I do. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. The dogs appreciate it. Mia back here, she appreciates it. See, look, oh, she's yawning. She's so funny. If you've never seen like a wine writer up close, watch a video of one. They will show you how they are. They follow you everywhere. Their eyes are like more round, and so their personality just comes out more. Nash Nails, she was amazing. She was one of my first members of my channel. Because when I first came to the platform, I didn't know which way I was going to go. I was bashing Betty a little bit. Now look at us, full circle. But I mean, I was like, I forget what I said. I said something about her. I don't know. But she didn't. I don't think she ever knew. She probably knows, but I didn't know that she knew. And then Heels came in my chat, and because and then we clicked. Someone that's a clip channel and a true crime channel normally don't click, but we did, and we I used to just be able to reach out to her, and she, and she was a good person to have on the platform. She would have your back, that's a good one to have your back. Yeah, that's a good one. So, but I'm glad for the people that do have my back on this platform, all the creators and all of the members and the subscribers. You guys are amazing. I do have a really good chat. If you guys didn't get the chance to, I was going to play it tonight. I forgot. Maybe I'll play it for you guys tomorrow because it was really nice. But Stephen Crabtree, if you have him over on TikTok, go over there and check out his post. He posted about us post before he came on the live last night, just about how nice you guys are. So I thought that was really sweet. But thanks again for being here tonight. I will see you guys all tomorrow evening. I might come on a little bit earlier because I'm going to try to wake up earlier on Monday. So just be on the lookout for a little bit earlier of a live. If not, I'll be back at 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll talk some true crime. But thank you guys. I'll see you guys all tomorrow night. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.